So, glass half full, you didn't need turnovers in the last game. What did you like about what you guys did on third down to get off the field?
Yeah, I think it starts obviously with pressure. It's hard to get off the field in third down situations if you don't have that. A couple scenarios where it was short yardage, got some penetration in the backfield, and being willing to, the percentages say you're not going to win all of those. Obviously, maybe advantage offense, but if you're not playing physical, if you're not doing your job, then it's 100% on the offensive side in short yardage situations. But on some of the deeper distance ones, I would start there. Might create a scramble situation, but then creates a match situation for us on the back end. I thought for the most part, we knew that was going to be and it's the critical element every week. We were scrambling quarterbacks. We'll face another one this week, but certainly was an emphasis last week. I thought we held up pretty well that way. But going back to takeaway, we don't do this, all shucks, we didn't get it. It's fine. The stress that we put on this football team, and that's how we talk as a coaching staff, Coach Riley, myself, the stress that we put on this football team by not getting the takeaway. Obviously you never know the full impact, but believe me, it had an impact on that football game, and so we can't be okay with that.
You guys lead the nation in sacks now through 6 games. Could you ever have imagined that when in the spring you were just trying to fill out the roster at edge rusher?
Yeah, no, that's interesting. One of the emphasis that we make with the guys is winning the moment. So we won some moments, obviously, in the previous 6 games. Every sack that we made up until this point, we got to make again. You don't get credit. You don't take the takeaways into the following week. You don't take the sacks into the next week either. They certainly have an impact on football. We all know that. That's not some grand statement. But that's got to continue for us to have success defensively. And it's both in the third down situations, the normal down situation, creating negative plays. But it's not extra to get home, and then trying to instill that in the guys. But I give Coach Newell, Coach Manning, and those guys up to this point, and we have, what you do is you create more expectation for yourself, which they deserve, and we got to make sure that pressure continues to tilt in our favor.
What's the biggest surprise for you, just in that regard, with the pass rush?
Yeah, no surprises. I wouldn't go there. You see a little bit in practice, and you see moments. We try to. We're surprised when we don't get them on the ground. Surprised when we, don't win a one-on-one. Maybe that's it. Is one of the emphasis that we make. It can't just be, well, he's the free guy, or they just don't pick us up. That doesn't take a whole lot of ability to be that guy. Now you still got to get him on the ground, but really the emphasis, the surprise has been in some of those situations where we have won the one-on-one. No, because they're not always going to be a free one, and you can't plan on being the free one. I get to go sack the quarterback on this play. You got to create those situations for yourself.
Cam Rising has been described as when he keeps the ball looking like a running back. What challenges does that create to defend?
Yeah, I think from a physical standpoint, you see the ability to kind of run through tackles. If you think it's the quarterback will go down easy, certainly it doesn't take you much film to realize that's not the case. And he has really good speed. And that's not opinion. That's as you watch him separate from defenders. Which some quarterbacks can do, some guys don't. So it's not this, you get into space and it's just a matter of time before you get him on the ground. He's run away from it. And so you got to make sure that as best you can, it's not just one guy trying to get him down. It's similar how you would describe like a running back, going through a hole. It just can't be. Solo tackles are very difficult on a guy of his ability.
Kalen Bullock started at 3 different positions last year. Have you seen him kind of take the next step now he's settled into his natural position?
Yeah, no, he's one of those guys that his best football's in front of him. You certainly, I think he's benefiting from the time that he had as a freshman a year ago. Most guys do. Instincts, you pretend like you coach him and you don't, he's got them. We got to make sure we put him in a position that can be a playmaker for us. I believe we have found that for him. Some of the, you call it's a safety for a reason, meaning you got to make some things right in some adverse situation. Now we got to decrease the situations if that's the case, but that is part of the job description. But good speed, physical. He's got to continue to put on the weight and the strength and all those things, which he will. And then, no, we're thrilled about him. I think he can be. I don't want to put a ceiling on it, but I also don't want to give him too high praise. But I couldn't give him any higher praise. We expect big things from him.
He's playing a lot. He's playing a lot more under this staff, and got thrown into the fire on Saturday. What have you thought about him?
Yeah, I give him a lot of credit. In that moment, obviously, Kalen goes out. And it's a response opportunity for the entirety of the defense, and most specifically to Anthony Beavers, and showed well. Bryson Shaw took some reps for us as well, but been pleased with we call him Tone, Anthony's progression. Has shown well in some of the special teams and his opportunities to get on the field, and like all those guys, every opportunity is an opportunity, and he showed well the other night, and we needed him to. And I think maybe the best compliment is you kind of forgot that Kalen wasn't out there, and that only happens if a guy's making the appropriate calls, being where he's supposed to be, playing fast and those things. So I give him credit.
Do you remember what your first impression of Thule was, and where have you maybe seen him take his game to the next level in that amount of time?
Yeah, I mean, it would have been in the weight room, and you just see a guy going to work, and our antennas were up, and that's just and that's no disrespect to previous staff or anything that way. Your antennas are up for those guys that are all in, and you're trying to create scenarios for guys to kind of almost show you that they're not. And you talk about a guy that never wavered from a physical standpoint, from an emotion. He doesn't say a whole lot, which is okay, be you, but in terms of giving great effort, a guy that coaches, and I'll transition that just into where we're at today, is that he coaches the younger guys. We do some young kind of, we call it Monday Night Football on Mondays. He's out there coaching the guys. He loves football, and it's fun to be around those guys, and there's less of those guys on the planet than there used to be, maybe. So you kind of gravitate towards him. He's never asked about what position to play, what's the call. He likes to drop in coverage. He likes to rush the passer. I mean, no, he's a real one. He's a real one. So no, he's been a pleasure to coach. All right.